Hey everyone, welcome back to another session on Learning Express Library. I'm Chelsea Kovalevsky with the Cherokee Regional Library System, and today we are going to be focusing on the Student Center. So if you have a student who's in 4th through 12th grade, or if you are a student in 4th through 12th grade, this is a video that you do not want to miss. All right, so we are in the Learning Express Library dashboard, and we're going to start off in School Center here. And you'll see that it's broken down into 3 different topics: elementary, middle, and high school. We will start off with elementary school today. So elementary school has mathematics and English only. And we're going to start with operations and algebraic thinking practice. So here we are with operations and algebraic thinking practice, and you'll see that they start their studies at grade 4 and grade 5. So 1st through 3rd grade, there's really not a lot for those students here, but for grade 4 and grade 5, there's quite a bit. They have just tests under this particular topic. And if you've done Learning Express Library before, you know that there's tests, tutorials, and ebooks. And I'll show you the tutorials and the ebooks in a little bit. But to show you what the tests look like, we're going to go ahead and start one. Now, generally with Learning Express Library, there's 3 different modes that you can take the test in: learner, practice, and simulated. But because this is not really helping your student test for a specific exam, there's only going to be 2 test modes: practice and learner. I really recommend using the learner mode. The learner mode allows you to view the answers to each question as you go along. This makes it a better study tool, whereas the practice just allows you to practice taking the exam, and you'll be able to look at all the answers at the end. But by then, it's probably been a while since they got the question either right or wrong, so probably not as good for studying. So I highly suggest doing the learner mode, and we're going to start the test, and I want to show you what it looks like. So here we are. We've got some word problems here. I'm just going to go ahead and pick an answer. And because we are in learner mode, it gives us the ability to go ahead and check the answer right away. So I got the question wrong, but it does tell me that C was the correct answer, and then it tells me why. And what's great about this is, guys, this is Common Core math. It's all based on Common Core math, which, if you're like me, you did not grow up with Common Core math, but you have a student who's learning that way, and that can be a really uncomfortable, it's really difficult and kind of intimidating to help your student learn in a way that you yourself were not taught. And so this is great because it is breaking it down in the way that your student is being taught to break it down. So that's really great. And so that could be a help to you and to your student. And so I'm going to go through and finish the rest of this test so that you can see what it looks like at the end. Okay, so I just finished my test. I just picked answers at random, and it looks like I did not do very well. I got a 20%. But what I wanted to draw your attention to is the score breakdown. What's really great about these tests is that it specifies the topic, how many questions were within each topic, and then it tells me how many of those I got correct and how many I got incorrect. So if you don't know exactly where your student is struggling within math, now I know for sure that I'm really having problems with multi-step word problems, but I'm doing a better job at analyzing patterns. So that can be really helpful information as you go through your journey with your student and helping them score better on math. And then there is also a recommendation section where they will give you links to other resources within Learning Express Library to help you. So it looks like there's an ebook, Basic Math in 15 Minutes a Day, which they could think that would be helpful for my student. And then they've given us the next test in the series, which is the Operations and Algebraic Thinking Practice 2. So, all right, let's go back. So we're back, and now we are in the middle school section of the school center. Elementary school just had mathematics and English, but the middle school section has added social studies skills improvement and also some high school entrance exams. But within the mathematics skills improvement, you'll see that the types of math that they're studying is obviously more complicated. They're going higher up in that. And then there's also some tutorials and ebooks. And so just to show you, all of these, they're going to be all practice tests. You can take them in learner mode like I just showed you, or do the full practice test. The tutorials are something else entirely. So let me show you that. So under tutorials, they have it broken down in grade 6, grade 7, grade 8 math tutorial. Now the tutorial is a little bit different from the test. It's actually quite a bit different from the test because it is actually going to teach you some information, and then it's going to test you on that information. So you do have the ability to take a pretest to see, what sections you need work on. Maybe you only need work on ratios, and so you can skip unit 1 or unit 2. Or maybe you know that you want to just go ahead and make your student go through the entire course, that's fine too. But you can choose to do the pretest or just go ahead and immediately start the tutorial. And it'll start you on Unit 1, and it gives you some information about expressions and equations. And then you would take that lesson, and within that lesson itself, there's more information. And then when they're done, there is a quiz. So you can work through these lessons with your child, with your student, and then at the end, test them on it and see if they were able to pull the information away and use it in a way to help them test higher than they did on the pretest, which is great. So there are math tutorials for grade 6, grade 7, grade 8. Obviously, this is something that you would work on over a long period of time, not just in one session. But then there's also, and hey, this is great. I'm excited about this. There is a middle school math for parents tutorial. This is for you, not for your student. Again, I talked about how I have a child. He's in first grade. He's already doing all kinds of weird stuff with this math that I'm like, that doesn't make any sense to me. So this is for those parents who want to be able to help their child with their homework, but they don't understand this new way of thinking with Common Core math and Common Core English. And so it has broken it down. There's a pretest in here for you as well. Maybe you've picked some stuff up along the way. But this is actually a course. It's a tutorial. It's a course for you to take to introduce you, the parent, to Common Core math. So that's really fantastic. I'm very glad that they have this this resource, and hopefully it'll be a help to you. I think we all, during the shelter in place and the pandemic, kind of realized real quickly that that Common Core math has kind of left some of us behind. So this is a great resource for parents. Okay, so we've looked at the practice tests, we've looked at the tutorials. I want to show you these ebooks really quickly. We did see these referenced when we didn't do so well on one of our exams earlier. There's that basic math in 15 minutes a day, but there's a lot of ebooks here that are available. So algebra, 15 minutes a day. Looks like there's some geometry, there's some math builder, math word problems. I know a lot of students do struggle with word problems. So if we find a book that we want to work with our children with, maybe we've already gone through all the practice tests, all the tutorials, and we're still looking for some extra resources, downloading the ebook is super simple. And what's great about this is you don't have to have internet access at home. You can download it onto a flash drive, take it home and put it on your desktop, or download it onto a tablet. It will download as a PDF. So if you have a PDF viewer on your tablet or iPhone, you could access it this way as well. And let me just show you what it looks like. Here I am, math word problems, 15 minutes a day. It's going to look just like a regular book. It's going to have your table of contents, and it'll tell you, what page you can skip to get to lesson 1. Looks like we need to go to page 21. There's a pretest here as well. And just to show you really quickly what it looks like, each section has, a little bit of an intro. This looks a lot like those tutorials that we were looking at earlier. It has a little bit of an intro, and then it's going to give you some practice. So here's some practice here. And if you're not comfortable working with this on a tablet, you're more than welcome to print it out if you have a printer at home, or you can come to the public library. Either way, but this is a great resource. They're fantastic if you can access them either on a tablet or printing it out. So we've looked at those. One last thing I want to show you about the middle school section is there are some high school entrance exams preparation materials here. I know in this area there's a local private school that uses the SSAT for their entrance exam, and so there is a practice test there as well. So now that we're finished with middle school, we're moving on to high school. Again, it's going to look very similar. They've added some science, some technology skills, and some logic and reasoning skills to this section. And of course, our mathematics and our English looks a little bit different. Obviously, they've advanced some. We now have some algebra, some quantitative comparison practice, some statistics and probability practices. And then our tutorials have changed a little bit as well. If you click on tutorials, you'll see that we've now got some high school algebra, some geometry, and they've split it up in this way. And that's going to look very similar to the tutorial that we looked at before. So here we are, we're at the high school ebooks under the math portion, and we've got 1,001 math problems, 1,001 problems to master algebra, 501 algebra questions. I think when you get to this point in your school career, our students are just looking for that repetition, just practice, practice, practice. So to have access to all of these questions and answers so that they can continue to just have that repetition, it's such a great resource. All right, that's all for today. I hope that this school center was helpful for you guys. You know, you've got the tests, you've got the tutorials, you've got the ebooks, and if you have any trouble at all getting on here, just call your local hometown library. We'd be happy to get you started, and we look forward to seeing you again next week.